Welcome to the Property Profits Real Estate Podcast, the show where real estate investors talk strategy, capital, deals, and growth with your host, Dave Dubeau.
Hey gang, welcome back. Today, zooming in from Dallas, Texas, Culby Culbertson is a gentleman who wears a couple of different hats in real estate. So Culby's been a money guy, helping people get financing for their deals for quite some time. He's a strategist around doing deals and helping people with challenging situations. And recently, he's become a GP in some deals as well. So Culby, welcome to the show. Great to have you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Dave. Appreciate you having me.
Well, tell me a little bit more about Culbertson Holdings. What you do as your primary business? Who do you serve? What do you do for them?
Yes, sir. So Culbertson Holdings, we are a capital advisory firm out of Dallas, Texas. We primarily focus on organizing debt and equity for commercial real estate transactions, acquisitions, refinances, lots of ground up construction. I say commercial. We also do quite a bit of single family communities. It is on the investment side, of course, but the 1 to 4 residential investment space, as well as commercial real estate nationwide.
Very nice. And how long have you been running the company for, Culby?
So I've been in the business. It'll be 8 years in December. Time flies. I've had my own shop, I guess, since end of 23, 24. I did exactly what I'm doing now for another company, ended up branching out, starting my own shop. The first year of business was 24. We did 45 million in loans in 2024 with just myself and one of my guys in my living room. And then, got ourselves an office space and a couple more guys in 25. We did 107 million in loans last year. And this year, we actually just ran the numbers today, and we're outpacing what we did this time last year by just a hair. So optimistic about what we'll see for 2026 as well.
So a lot of people, especially in the multifamily space over the last few years, have taken a bit of a kicking here. What have you been helping some of those folks get out of some sticky situations, or are you basically originating brand new loans?
That's a good question. So we've seen a variation of folks that are in need of a little bit of creative structuring, right? So we've seen some loan modification requests, which we're perfectly capable to do, going to the lender, discussing maybe an action plan, a management plan to get these folks somewhat of a, in a better grace period, I guess you'd say. And then there's also a lot of loan assumptions, as you can imagine, folks that bought that property when rates were at a level that we'll probably never see again, frankly. And they're getting really competitive rates on, 3, 4, 5 years remaining in the term. We can do, loan assumption consultation, as well as maybe providing some creative preferred equity options on top of that to bridge the gap. And then, of course, new debt, which is really our bread and butter, whether that's, people doing a value add, a bridge renovation, ground up construction, or stabilized. Only if we got a bunch of stabilized deals hitting our desk all the time. As brokers, we tend to work on deals that typically have a value add component, which is perfectly fine.
Yeah, very good. So recently you've kind of jumped over the fence and now you're getting your feet dirty actually in the deals as a GP or as a co-GP on some projects. Tell me a little bit about that, Culby.
Yes, sir. So, back in say 2021, 22, give or take, my first deal as a GP, and that was 2 different multifamily properties just north of Austin in Temple, Texas, Hollyoaks and Plantation Square. And that was a good deal that we took down with bridge money. And, candidly, I was somewhat of a, we handled the debt, we handled a little bit of the equity, kind of the transaction consultation at the end of the day. And then my partners that came in, Sandeep and Carlos, they were, they're great managers. They own a bunch of other properties. They're both engineers. It kind of made it easy on us, frankly. I know my role, put it that way. And once we kind of took that over, got it done, helped with some of the renovations. Now it's just we refinanced into agency, kind of a set it and forget it on our end. Just candidly, our managers do a fantastic job of reporting back and doing everything else. And so we're in a 10-year Fannie Mae loan. So some time had passed from that point in time. The market kind of figured itself out in a lot of ways too. and we're seeing opportunities come up, some for better or worse, right? So we actually just closed on a deal in Louisiana just a couple weeks ago, where a deal that we helped get done in Baton Rouge, distressed note. They were looking down the barrel of a foreclosure for various reasons. And we, had a good relationship with that lender. They came to us, said, hey, here's what's going on. Long story short, we ended up just assuming the note, and they gave us some CapEx behind it. I own a small construction company as well called In-House Construction. We were able to mobilize our guys, took over the note, got all the renovations done, found a local manager, and all the renovations are completed. Now we're in the middle of lease up.
Nice. Which size of a property is that?
It's not that big. It's a 24 unit deal,
Okay. Yeah.
but doing it myself and just mobilizing our guys. And I think it's
So
a great
that's sending your
opportunity.
guys from Texas to Baton Rouge? Is from Dallas to Baton Rouge? Is that where are you guys local?
It is in Baton Rouge, but we were just utilizing some sources that we have out there.
Oh,
So,
okay.
just like any other construction service company, oftentimes they're just brokering construction service, right? And that's really what our team does is, kind of broker those services, very similar to a GC. But we are, continuing to see more opportunities on the investment side. We were just approved, and we're about to close on a 70-pad RV park development in Burleson. We have another 180 unit multifamily development in Fort Worth. And I'm under contract on another 72 key hotel that we're converting to multifamily as we speak. So there's opportunity that we're seeing. It's one of those things, Dave, where as a capital markets, deal guy, if you will, you really don't want to go out there and present yourself as someone that is a consistent GP, because you want to make sure people know what to come to you for.
Yeah.
My role in this world we live in is debt. We organize debt. We organize capital. We do it very well. We do a lot of it. But I would say that debt oftentimes can be somewhat of a Trojan horse, right? Because you get into the conversation, you better understand what's going on with the investors. And oftentimes there's a need that they may not be privy to just based on some of their analysis initially, but we can help them if and when we get to that point. And that's really all the deals that I'm involved in right now, Dave. That's been kind of what's happened, whether there's a partner that didn't perform, or there was partners that want to get out, or there was a mismanagement of some kind. It's not like we sought out a deal and said, hey, how can I buy this? They typically come to us with a need, and we were able to help them. And every deal that we're in right now, one of those partners is still in the deal. It's not like we took the deal by any means. We just worked out a way that made sense. Typically, the person bringing us the deal is like, hey, this is what's going on. And we help them to figure out the best path forward where everybody wins, and everybody does.
Nice. Well, that makes the business a lot more exciting as well, doesn't it? Instead of just, helping people deploy capital, but getting into the thick of things as well. So you've had some pretty serious growth over the last few years with your company. Where do you see yourself taking the business over the next year or two, Culby?
Sure. So I think, again, the debt brokerage is a big part of who we are. And I want that to be the focal point. We've got 5 producers here at the team, of which, a couple are new, a couple are experienced. I want them to get the opportunity to continue to grow. We're implementing a lot of great systems. We have a lot of wonderful resources. Our capital pool continues to increase. We now have an in-house fund up to $5 million for all 1 to 4 residential, ground up, existing value add, refinances, you name it. And we're also be able to get pretty nimble as far as our abilities on organizing some strategic capital on the other end of that capital stack. So on the debt side, I really want to continue to grow that out. But at the same time, the investment side is something that will naturally grow. The deals will never stop. This machine is going to keep pumping deals out, whether we want them to come or not. But it is up to us to underwrite it thoroughly and give them the best advice as a capital markets broker before taking any additional conversation. We would want them to initiate that conversation as opposed to us. So, doing over 100 million in loans last year. I think there's a big shoe to fill there. So I really want to keep my eye on the ball, not just for myself, but for my guys to make sure that we're staying focused on providing the most accurate information on what's available in the market from a debt perspective.
So speaking of that, you help with debt, you help with capital. Do you guys raise private capital as well, or you just go to the institutions for providing that?
We would go to the institutions. So we're
Yeah.
not licensed broker dealers. So we're not out there piecemealing 50K here, 100K here. That's just not what
Yeah.
we do, you know.
Right.
But I would say that just being in the business, you obviously, once you learn how to fish, you know where to fish, you know.
Mhm.
So there's a big up and for us to be resourceful. But I would say first lien debt's a big part of what we're going to advise on. And there's a lot of strategic ways that you could get deals done in this market. You know, look, everybody wants to look at one variable a lot of times, and that's what their leverage is. But
Mhm.
frankly, you could be very strategic on that leverage too, because if you have a lender that allows, second positions or even non-recorded capital, you could do a lower leverage deal and still get a more aggressive capital product at the end of the day by combining both your first lien with a preferred equity product. And I
Mm.
think that's where we can really help the experienced investor stretch that dollar beyond what they typically do by utilizing those types of strategic products.
So you started off not that long ago, you and one other guy, I think you said in your living room. That was that was the
Yeah.
office. Now I've
Yep.
expanded. I think you're working with five other guys, a couple of newer guys. So for the new people getting into the business, if somebody kind of asks you what's involved, what does their day to day, the new guys, what does that kind of look like to generate business for your company?
Sure. Sure. So, I really harp on folks, making the calls, making the connections. Look, in this business, there is a lot of opportunity out there. And oftentimes you will have some deals that hit your desk, yes, but you have to be making calls. Whether you're going through your outbound to CoStar or outbound to investment sales broker, OMs, or whatever that may be, if you're not making 25, 50 calls a day, you're missing the mark because there's
Mm.
so much opportunity out there, especially in the world that we're living in right now, Dave. I feel like for a younger guy, if you're not coming in hungry with the will and the want to make those new connections, there's frankly just better ways to use your time.
Mhm.
When it was 2018, late 2018 to early 2019 when I got in the business, man, I was an animal. I was 50 calls a day, 100 calls a day. I was at meetings, I was at networking events. There wasn't a guy out there that didn't know who I was, right? But that really showed well after 2, 3 years. Here we are, doing over 100 million in loans, and I'm showing the ropes to some new guys and how to do it. But that's really, look, you have to know the numbers, right? But there's models that we can use. You run through the P&Ls, you understand income over expenses, your debt service coverage ratios, your debt yield, some basic metrics that can have you understand what a deal looks like from a debt perspective fairly easy.
Yeah.
But that means nothing if you don't have the ability to manage your time, to get out there, find the deals, underwrite the deals, put them in front of the right capital partners. So I think by being aggressive and passive at the same time, by being aggressive with getting out there and making those connections, but also by being passive, by understanding the information and really being able to convey and define to these lenders and capital partners on what you're looking at is really what you have to do to be successful in this business.
Awesome. Colby, as we're wrapping things up here, who are you looking to connect with these days?
Yeah, so I would like to connect with really any investor that's looking at real estate investment. We do a lot of ground up construction. We do a lot of value add renovation. So guys that are coming in to either, fix some operational efficiencies if it's mismanaged, whatever that may be. Also, too, if you are looking to coming out of a construction, refinance into something stabilized, we can do recapitalization, cash out refinances. We've got several in the pipeline right now, about 50 million in loans that we're currently closing. And I think that anybody that's looking to just kind of better understand what they're looking at, I would be a great person to call. I've got 5 guys here in the office that would love to chat with you as well. And we're always looking for more relationships that are looking to, see what other capital products are available and or investment opportunities are available.
Fantastic, Culby. So if people want to connect with you, where should they go? What should they do?
I think my LinkedIn would be a fantastic place to go. Culbertson Holdings has a company page. Culbertson Holdings LLC has a company LinkedIn page, and my personal, which is Culby Culbertson. That'd be a great place to find us, and also to showcase a lot of the deals that we've done. The 23 transactions we got done last year, plus the 11 transactions we've already done this year, are showcased with details all over the map. So happy to chat with anybody if they're interested to get connected.
Sounds good. Culby, thanks for being on the show.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Dave.
Everybody, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you again on the next one.
Thanks for listening to the Property Profits Podcast. If you'd like to be a guest on the show, apply at daveinterviews.com.